Alright, let's do a quick repair video. Um, I have a nice pair of Turtle Beach headphones here that I sat on while they were in my pocket, and it bent the plug here, and then they stopped working. So, we're going to go ahead and repair it. But in order to do so, we're going to need to do a little bit of surgery. Should have gotten all the tools I needed out first. Where are my wire strippers? Pretty sure I put them away. Yeah, there we go. So I'll need those, and I'll need this, and I'll need this, and that should be everything. Alright, now we have to very carefully autopsy this connector so we know which wires go where. So, ooh, this is sketchy. Do I have any better way of doing this? Not really. Okay, well, let's just be very careful and try not to cut my fingers open. Let's see if I can take this little insulator off here. Just gotta be super careful so that I don't damage what remains of the wires inside, because I'm gonna need to be able to see how they're connected, but I also need to get it off in order to see that. So let's see if we can get this removed. Getting there. Hope this isn't just like vacuum formed and there's absolutely no way I'm gonna get to see the actual wires. That would be a little frustrating. Doesn't look like it, it's just being a little difficult about coming apart here, so let's try to cut this a little bit more here. I'm talking awfully quietly, so I'm gonna raise the gain on my microphone just a little bit here. There we go. Alright, gotta stop muttering so that you guys can actually hear what I'm trying to do. Let's see. Maybe I can get in there with something to kind of spread it open and pry it open kind of thing. I don't know. Actually, that's an interesting idea I just had. Maybe I can sort of shave the rubbery material off here. See if I can reveal the innards that way. Try to just sort of peel it back layer by layer. Okay, so there is sort of a plastic inner molding of some sort here. Let's see if we can reveal this thing's secrets. Yeah, there's some glue going on in here, I think. Almost got it. Come on. Lord, most of this is going to be me trying to get this connector apart so I can figure out where the wires are supposed to be soldered. Alright, so there's that off. Then we've got just a bunch of plasticky, oh, it's almost like resin or something. That is completely encasing the inside here. Oh, I am way off shot. I wonder how much of that was actually off shot. Oh boy. Well, if there was a jump cut, it'll be because I wasn't paying attention to my framing, and you guys wouldn't have seen any of what I was doing here. So what I'm doing now is just very carefully trimming back the plastic that they filled this connector with. Maybe a resin or something. In order to try to identify, I just need to identify one more wire, because I've identified that the white wire goes on the bottom ring here. So I just need to figure out what color wire goes to either the middle ring or the tip. And, oh no, there's going to be 4 wires, aren't there? So I need to identify, oh boy, okay. Well, let's keep carefully digging in. I know a lot of you are probably cringing at me cutting towards my thumb, but historically I have found that you get much more control over how you're cutting when you cut like this. Okay, well, oh, bugger. Okay, well, so much for that idea. I just completely ripped the whole thing apart. So we're going to have to experiment. Yay. Alright, well, we're going to start by cutting off a reasonable portion of the outer sleeving here. How much do we want to do? Maybe about, yeah, we'll go ahead and cut off a reasonable excess, and then we can trim the wires back as necessary. So I saw this interesting trick where if you are trying to strip the outer insulation of a multi-core wire, you don't cut the insulation all the way through. You score it with your strippers, and then you just kind of manipulate it back and forth to rip the remaining insulation, and that way you don't have to deal with accidentally cutting the insulation of the wires on the inside. So we have a bunch of really crazy superfine wires going on here, which I think I have off shot, so I'm going to zoom back just a little bit, and I'm going to change my focal point a little bit. There we go, so you guys can kind of see what I'm working with here. So we've got a green insulated wire, a red insulated wire, that just looks like bare wire, and then we've got a white insulated wire wrapped in green and red wire that looks enameled. What the heck is going on here? Alright, well, yeah, this white fluffy stuff is, it's gotta go. It's in the way. So, let's see. I'll just see if I can nip that off with this. That worked fairly well. Alright, so we have green. Now I already determined that the white goes on the sleeve, so that we know where that one's gonna go. And then green and red. We've got green and red enameled wire, and we've got white, and then we've got bare wire, and then we've got... Are these all just stranded? It is. Whoa. Okay, I have absolutely no idea what to do here, so I'm going to hop online and see if there's any guides for this. I thought it would be a lot more straightforward, but I've got TRRS, so I've got 4 conductors, but I've got 5 different wires here. Maybe 6, because the red and green enameled wire here. I imagine this is going to be the ground because when I say TRRS, tip, ring, ring, sleeve. Now, typically, the sleeve is ground, the second ring is microphone, and then right and left are tip and ring. But being able to identify which of these wires is which, especially considering there's 5 of them, is going to be a bit of a challenge. So, I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so I did a little bit of research, and we learned that my soldering iron has a blob of stuff on it that is burning. Let's clean that off real quick. Alright, that's better. I would probably picked up some of the rubber that I shaved off. Anyway, so, according to the internet, red is right, green is left, the twisted green-red is the microphone, and the white and bare copper are ground. So, left goes to the tip, which is, I don't know how well it's going to show on camera here, but let's see if we can get it to zoom in. Alright, so the tip is going to be this one right here, then, so that's going to be left. Then the next one is going to be right, which is this one here, then the mic positive, and then everything else ground goes here. At least that's what I'm hoping, and that's how we're going to proceed. But we have to start by tinning this enameled wire, which may be reasonably challenging. So I'm just gonna try to get this going here, get some solder flowing onto the wires. This may be a somewhat arduous and boring process, so if it drags on too long, I'll probably just do a jump cut. Oh, it looks like it's starting to work. Here we go. Because there's the enamel on the wire that has to be gotten rid of, and then there's also this sort of, oopsie, fibrous reinforcement stuff. I'm just gonna flick off any extra solder there. Let's see, how well did that actually work? It's close enough for government work, it should do the trick. Alright, now I need to do... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do a jump cut while I get all of these wires tinned and prepared for the next step. Pardon me while I try to get my focus to behave. Seriously? Focus in. There we go. Alright, so I'll just do a quick jump cut and be right back. Alright, and we're back. I've gotten all of the wires stripped and sorted, so the next phase here is going to be clamping the connector here down onto the insulation to kind of hold it in place while we solder it. So there's that, and there, you don't need a special crimp tool for these, just a a pair of pliers, a little bit of patience, and a delicate touch. So now you'll see that that strain relief is clamped down on the insulation, so it's going to hold it nice and secure. You'll also see that I've already placed the strain relief, whatever the heck that is, and the collet onto the wire there. So now for my next challenge, I need to solder all these wires into place and hopefully correctly remember which ones are which, because now they're mostly, soldered. But I'm quite confident on this one, so we're going to go ahead and start with the ground wire. Hang on just a second here. I'll sort of improvise a stand here. Not a stand, but a... what's the word I'm looking for? Like a third hand kind of thing. We're just gonna flow some solder onto this. I need to remember to keep talking and just get it to connect onto ground there. There we go. That looks, well, I'm not going to say great, but it's acceptable. And we'll just nip off the excess there. Alright. Now, what did I say about the colors? Does anybody remember? I'm just going to reconfirm here. Red is right, so red for right. R. Alright, so that's green, which means it needs to go to the tip. I'm not sanguine about the way this connector is constructed. I'm gonna go blurry / off shot for just a second here while I sort these connectors, make them a little more better. Alright, so with the assistance of some tweezers, let's get these wires jockeyed into place. So the green is for the tips. So the green wire needs to go into this one here in the center. Am I in shot still? Kind of. Let's bring the focus a little bit better there. So, actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to bend this up just a little bit so that I can feed the wire in from underneath, like so. And hopefully that will kind of keep it separated from the right wire. There's not a lot of room to work with in here, which is kind of aggravating. There we go. So we're just going to kind of fold that over like that. Alright, so that's also the wrong... Gosh darn it. Okay, so that's not correct. The green wire... Am I still in shot and reasonably in focus? Let's bring this up just a little bit. Right. So, that's not the right one. Oh, I'm getting really iffy about these wires, because I think I'm kind of right on the cusp of snapping them from jockeying them around so much. So let's bring that one over there. The red needs to go, or the green is the tip, so come on, get through there, behave, cooperate, work. I want my headphones back. Alright, there we go. So that's going to come over into that side. And then the red one, which is right here, needs to go up through this one, like so. And then the remaining one needs to go, which is the mic positive, needs to go through this one here. Right. So we'll just kind of give that a little bit of tension and fold it over, pinch it down. And I'm actually going to back this red one back out because it got wrapped around the green one, and I don't want any of that to be happening. So let's go ahead and bring this one back over that way, and then bring it through here and pull it through. There we go. It's proving to be far more challenging than I thought it would be. All right. At least I'm kind of staying in shot. I apologize if the focus goes weird. There's not much I can do for that, owing to the angles that I'm having to work on this, but hopefully it's not too bad. Am I still in shot? Yep. Reasonably well in focus. Well, there's really not much to see at the moment. Just me messing around with some really extremely fine wires and praying that they cooperate. There we go. Alright, that looks fairly good. And the next step is to solder them into place. For you pronunciation people out there, I am starting to try to add the L to solder. I didn't grow up using the L, so... Alright, we're actually going to borrow a piece of craft foam here. This will make an appearance in a later video, probably. It's for something else, though. Now let's weigh that down. Right. We'll jockey this back over into shot. There we go. And then we'll get the focus back down on it. There we go. Alright, so time to try this out and see if it works. Tip's going a little gross there. There we go, clean that up. Alright, there's that one. There's that one. Well, despite being flimsy, it's taking the solder rather nicely, at least. And that one is probably going to need a little bit more heat because I'm soldering back onto the enamel again. Just hold that there for a little bit. There we go. You got to be careful soldering these, of course, because they've got plastic parts inside them, and if you keep the heat on too long, the plastic bits will melt. And that's not good for the structural integrity of the connector. So now we're just going to trim off the excess tails here. There we go, there's that one, and then the last. Nip that off there. Alright. Then we'll grab these tweezers again, and whoopsie, carefully manipulate these tabs back into place so that they don't interfere with putting everything back together. Sorry, I just punched my mic. And we're going to bring this clear sleeve up, cover those like that. Then there's the strain relief, and then there's the collet. I'm actually going to unplug and set my soldering iron to the side here. I started using my TS100 again because the cheapy one that I got from Banggood seems to have lost its ability to regulate its temperature. so it's not particularly useful to me if it's going to do that. Alright, and then we'll just take this, oops, I'm just gonna make sure that's nice and tight. Brilliant. Alright, I'm just gonna grab my phone here, kill the Bluetooth, grab the headphones, and give this a quick try. I'm gonna do it mostly off screen though, because... So, there's the headphones. I don't recall which was right and left. There we go. So I got the headphones on now. Where's the plug? There we go. I'll plug that in my phone. Which... that doesn't go in very well, but let's see what happens. I got a pop, so that says to me that the speakers are at least hearing something. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's lovely. I can listen to my music again. Oh, very nice. Alright, so that... okay, you guys did not see what just happened, but you heard the noise that was a side effect of what just happened. As I was removing the headphones, I tried to strangle myself with the cord. That was interesting. Alright, so yeah, that's a good result. I mean, I'm not thrilled with the quality of the connector, but, you know, as long as it conducts the signal into the headphones, I'm okay with it. Now, I don't know if the mic is working properly, because I have to find... these particular headphones have a removable mic on them. And I have to find the microphone to see if the microphone is working, but that's not humongously important to me. What was important to me was actually getting to listen to music with my nice headphones again, which I now can. So, excellent result. If you haven't already, consider clicking here to subscribe. Right over here is a video that YouTube thinks you'll find interesting, based on your watch habits. Right over here is... I guess this is a repair, so that'll be the repairs playlist. That's a playlist that I haven't put anything on in a really long time. And right here will be a link to Patreon, which you can use to pledge a couple of dollars a month to help me afford to buy better connectors than this one. So, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.